Ladies and gentlemen, all rise. Court is back in session. Again, welcome to another exciting episode of The Devil's Due. I'm your host, Carl Duty. With me, again, as always, is my co-host, Mr. Drew Celestino.
It's the least. Well, let's explain what just happened. So we just
spoilers, folks.
We just talked for 45 minutes or more, and none of it was recording for reasons.
Yeah,
I'm baffled, and here we are. So here's the deal.
So yeah,
let's lay it out for you.
Yep.
We had a whole bunch of stuff we just talked about. It was a very light news week, so you're not missing a whole ton on that front.
It might have been our worst segment ever in the news because we were scratching, we were looking for anything.
I'm scouring the internet for
Becky's
stuff.
getting arrested. Batman's teaming up with Ninja Turtles. Mass hysteria.
It's kind of weird. So honestly, you didn't miss much. I had some spicy takes in there that I'm going to miss, but that's okay. You get me back.
Yeah,
they'll come back. I can find a. I can get heated quickly, Carl. So we'll get back there. So I'll tell you what we're going to do. We're going to table all that normal content, and we're going to get to the meat, the heart of the matter, the juicy center that we were just about just a few minutes, fortunately, into before we realized that technical problems were happening. We're just going to get right into the Captain Marvel review, man.
Yeah. Those of you who sent in emails this week, thank you. We did actually answer them. We are going to re-answer them next week.
Yeah.
So Alan Waiters and Mr. Chris Taylor, we definitely appreciate it. We'll
get back to you.
Yeah.
And feel free to send more so we can give you more next week. And we promise to actually make sure that we're recording.
That's
probably a good idea.
Yeah.
Probably a good idea. So,
okay. We are going to review Captain Marvel. As we are wont to do, folks, when we review a film, there are spoilers. We're going to talk about Captain Marvel and spoil things that happened in the film. So if you did not watch Captain Marvel, now's a good time to pause. Don't delete the episode. Just come back to us after you've watched the film.
There you go.
All right. Spoilers starting now. Drew.
Hey.
Captain Marvel, the 21st entry in the Marvel Cinematic Universe.
That is insane to think about.
That you do not have to do the math on this time
I did
around.
the math last time. 21
films.
What
10
a world
years,
we
21
live in.
movies. Yeah.
What a world we live in.
Yeah.
Remember when, Batman was all we had? in the 90s?
We had a couple Batman films and
that was really
a couple Superman films.
And interspersed, bad movies like, Meteor Man.
There were some indie gems in there too. Ninja Turtles, The Crow.
Okay. But, the big power set characters kind of got left by the wayside.
I'm sure people right now will be like, what do you mean Ninja Turtles indie gem? Folks, Ninja Turtles was an indie film.
I mean,
go back and look at
New Line
history.
Cinema.
They distributed it. They did not make it.
Okay, well, fair enough.
But yeah, we've definitely lived in a season of plenty.
Oh, we're
for some time
good
now.
and plenty?
Sure.
I prefer good and fruity, but
I prefer Mike and Ike's. Good and plenty can go away because
I'm
they're
with you.
Terrible.
Oh yeah, black licorice is the devil.
Yeah.
Incarnated in candy form.
In candy form. I mean, come on, it's black.
What does that mean?
That's licorice and it's not good. I didn't mean it that way. Black is normally associated, the color black, not the skin tone. The color black is usually associated with evil.
Man, I really wish we didn't delete that first take on this.
Folks, I'm not being racist. I'm talking about the color black, not the skin tone.
They know that. I'm teasing. It's in my nature.
I know.
So, anyway.
Captain Marvel. Drew, we've established on this show that I am a pretty easy cry when it comes to films.
Yes.
And let's be honest, like television, comics, and some music and whatnot. I'm an easy cry. I'm in touch with my emotions. I'm not ashamed of it. Captain Marvel might hold the record for the film quickest to get me to tears.
Yeah. When's the last time you sat there and cried over a corporate logo?
Yeah, it's funny because like for the longest time we've lamented this particular version of the Marvel branding that they play in we miss the flipping papers and whatnot.
Can you tell?
As we would like
episode.
to do on this show. But no, in the current Marvel corporate tag in the beginning, typically goes through, shows you some scenes from the films that have been for the past 10 years and whatnot. For this one, they did just an incredible tribute to Stan Lee, and everything in there was Stan. And after it was up on the screen just went black and said, "Thank you, Stan." And Drew, I was rolling tears.
We're off to a good start.
Because the world
is a vampire.
The world is a... I mean, it's that too.
And it's set to Dre-Yane.
Dre-Yane. The world is a less place without Stan Lee in it. But that's okay, because he's not dead. He just went to a different dimension.
Sure.
He got bored here.
He's a watcher. He's somewhere.
He's a watcher.
Yeah. He's reporting back to, Uatu or whatever.
Yeah, sure. So yeah, getting into the film. They've had to do some origin stories in the past 10 years and 21 films.
And they tend to be everyone's least favorite thing.
It's tough because in order to do it well, you have to give it its due time. So you usually don't get to the really fun stuff till like the last half hour, 45 minutes of the film.
Yeah.
That's why the second ones are usually the more stronger entries, because they can kind of hit the ground running.
Unless you're Thor or Iron Man.
Yeah, true. True. This one was done differently in almost a Tarantino-esque type of way. Flashbacks, like the film was not chronologically told.
Not exactly, no. There was a lot of... They revealed her origin and kind of like the central plot of the movie, if you will, in flashback, and that's interspersed throughout the movie.
Yeah. And it's you were mentioning our first time in this merry-go-round that it wasn't very surprising.
I feel like if you're going to do it that way, you're kind of structuring it that way so that there's some kind of aha moment or twist or big reveal.
And there were
things that were revealed, but I'm not going to lie, I kind of could have guessed any of it.
Yeah, I think the biggest twist they pulled off was like kind of the flipping of the sides. You thought between the Kree and the Skrull.
Yeah.
We're very accustomed to the Skrull being the bad guys and the Kree being good-ish.
They're good-ish. They are, they're an Imperial force, so they can be a little stiff with the Empire and whatnot.
Yeah.
But in this movie, we kind of get a inversion of that. Here's the thing. We don't know that the Skrulls are the good guys necessarily. We just know that these particular Skrulls are good guys.
Yeah.
Air quotes, good guys. They're the family certainly are innocent. But like Talos and his gang, he even says that he's got blood on his hands. I mean, he's in a war. He's done some stuff he's not proud of, but he's doing it for the sake of trying to find his family a home. Okay, I mean, fair enough, right? Jude Law and Star Force, they're kind of the heels here. In fact, they are the heels here. So that is a bit of a change. Although, again, I could have told you very early in the movie that Jude Law was up to no good and that he would end up being the antagonist of the movie. And sure enough, that's what he was.
Yeah. I mean, at a certain point, you do kind of see that coming. But it's still, it was still done well.
The movie is, like, without getting, let's just get kind of big reactions in there. I would say that this is a well-done movie. I have very few, complaints about it. It all works completely well. I would say it's a good Marvel movie, but it doesn't crack the pantheon of great Marvel movies. And that's not even, and that sounds harsher than it really is, because all of these movies are pretty good.
Yeah.
So saying that it's merely good is saying it's still worth a watch. You're still going to sit down and enjoy it. You're going to be totally fine. But it's not in that pantheon of great.
I think,
and that's not that again. That's fine.
Yeah.
Doesn't have to be. Not everything has to be great.
Yeah, I think there is greatness to it, but where its greatness lies is in what it's doing on a larger social scale.
You think?
Yeah, I think it's kind of up there with like Black Panther and Wonder Woman as being like these social touchstones.
I think it wants to be that.
I think it is, because it's like Wonder Woman was like, yes, you had the Amazons, but like past, like when they got off of Themyscira, it was kind of just Wonder Woman.
Right.
Whereas in this, you have numerous women being strong characters.
You are correct on that. Yeah, you're right.
Kind of really taking control of doing it. And the men are not shortchanged. They're not ancillary to it. They're playing their proper roles in a situation that these characters would find themselves.
Sure.
Yeah.
That's fair. I liked everything with Maria Rambeau and her daughter and Carol, and like that was a cool dynamic.
Yeah, and
it's all good stuff.
Annette Bening's character, who we first meet as the Supreme Intelligence.
Yeah, normally the Supreme Intelligence is a big green face, but here it's Annette Bening.
Probably a better choice.
I missed the big green face.
I like.
But the caveat is that they say that if you talk to the Supreme Intelligence, it looks like someone in your past. And
it's kind of like Gozer. It is how you imagine.
Yeah, right, right. It's what everyone wants to be.
And then the big curveball that got thrown for readers and fans of the comics for a while is that, yes, Mar-Vell is in this film.
Yeah, but it's not the one that you know.
It's not the one that you know. It's Annette Bening plays Mar-Vell.
Now,
for those of you not in the know, Mar-Vell was the original Captain Marvel.
That's correct.
Who died of cancer?
Yep.
Yeah.
Powers killed him. Go figure.
That happens.
But I mean, thematically though, and even in terms of it's an updating of the character. The original Mar-Vell was a soldier, a Kree soldier, sent to Earth to scout it for takeover. You can see those nasty Kree.
Yeah.
They were going to take over planets, and they were going to take over the Earth. Mar-Vell came to Earth and decided, no, I'm not going to do that. I'm going to defend the Earth. I'm going to become a hero, and I like this place, and yada yada.
Yeah.
Similarly here, Mar-Vell is not a soldier, but a scientist who comes to Earth for reasons and decides that she's going to use her ability, her brains, her smartness, to help the Kree. She wants to end the war.
Yeah.
So she wants, and to do so, she's going to develop a faster than light drive or something to help the Kree, or help the Skrulls find a home. Or these particular refugee Skrulls find them a home, which is okay, cool. That's fine. That's fine. And then in the midst of that, as we find out later, Star Force was onto her. They did find her. They shot down her faster than light jet,
which was not going faster than light at the time.
No, luckily. And then Carol Danvers was piloting that ship, and she, rather than let them get away with it, blew up the engine, and then she took the brunt of the energy explosion, I guess, and that infused her with the powers and the whatnot.
Yeah.
Powers based on our good old friend the Tesseract, by the way.
Yes, that makes an appearance in this, which is cool.
I mean, it's probably the most identifiable MacGuffin in the Marvel movies.
Yeah.
So it makes sense that you'd want to... And plus, it is one that we know was on Earth at that time.
Yeah.
So it makes sense. I'm okay with that.
They did it well. I really enjoyed the character of Carol Danvers in all her forms in this film.
She's a confident, cocky soldier with a bit of a snarky streak, I guess you'd say, which is fine.
Yeah, she's like, it's like, again, because like one of the main comparisons to this film is going to be to Wonder Woman. And they're both kind of fish out of water stories.
Little bit. Wonder Woman more so, I would say.
Yeah, Wonder Woman has more of like an innocence and a reverence to her, the way Gal Gadot portrays her, which works really well there. Brie Larson, Captain Marvel, Carol Danvers, not so much.
No, she's more condescending.
She's fish out of water, but she's definitely like,
she's too good for this place.
Yeah, she knows who she is, and even though it is, she knows, in a sense, she knows who she is. She also has amnesia from who she actually is.
But she is a confident soldier and a confident. She's comfortable in her own skin.
Exactly,
and she, kind of doesn't. She doesn't let a moment pass where she'll let you make a fool of yourself before she can drop a comment on you. And the case in point, when Nick Fury is fiddling with tape to get a fingerprint on a door. And later she just blows a hole in the door, and he's like, "You had me fiddling with tape, and you could have just did that the whole time." She's like, "Yeah, it was fun though."
Yeah. Okay. So, and obviously on these reviews we jump around a lot. The visual effects in the film,
dude.
There were times where I was like, "Ooh, you could have made that look better." And then there were times where I'm just watching him like, "You guys made a young-looking Samuel L. Jackson and Clark Gregg totally believable. Never saw like a wire in there.
I thought
throughout the whole time. And DC can't do a dang mustache. You can't do a lip. Come on.
That is actually, now that you say that, that's incredible. When you think about it. Sam Jackson looked fantastic. Clark Gregg looked a little plasticky in times. But yeah, dude, like I'm looking at Sam Jackson and I never thought twice. I never thought twice about it.
You're just okay. Hey, it's Coulson. He's got hair. He's got more hair.
Yeah. Which is actually funny because Clark Gregg has looked the same for like the last 25 years.
He's like, there's very little de-aging.
They didn't even have
to
do it, but they did anyway.
So yeah, but they were like especially at the end, the big climactic scene where she's like full power and she's flying around in space. I'm like, looks good. Could look a little bit better.
Yeah,
but I'm having too much fun to seriously care about this.
Yeah, it's fine.
Yeah,
it's fine.
So yeah, that was one of two things I bumped up against. The other thing, I'm sorry.
Go on.
I know they were having fun with it throughout the films, and the moments they did were funny and whatnot. But the actual reason Nick Fury loses his eye is just stupid.
Oh, I'm okay with that.
It's just...
I'm fine with it.
Stupid.
I'm totally fine with it.
The cat scratches his eye out.
It wasn't a cat, Carl. It's a flurkin.
You know what I mean.
It's a flurkin. We don't know. It could have poison claws for all we know, which it probably does, by the way. Like, that thing got gnarly looking quickly.
And that was a really fun reveal, and that was great. I'm all for Flurkin and Goose and whatnot, and I hate cats, Drew.
Same. I'm allergic. It's not fair.
Yeah, but yeah, the whole scratching the eye out.
I'm fine.
That was stupid.
I'm totally fine with it.
We shall differ on that. What else do I really like about this? Let's talk about the 90s nostalgia factor. We talk about nostalgia a lot on this show, some of it in the good way, some of it in the bad way.
I mean,
I was hit with so many feels. So many feels. They had a Street Fighter 2 Champion Edition in the arcade.
When I saw that, I'm like, oh, Carl's going to love that.
I marked out so hard.
I figured you would. That was all, that was all good for the most.
Yeah, True Lies, Cardboard Standy, and the Blockbuster. Yeah.
If you really scrutinize it, though, certain things are... They don't like. It's more like a snapshot of what you remembered the whole decade being,
which I'm fine with. They're
as
not
opposed
making
to
a documentary.
I know, but there's some stuff that was like, oh, that wasn't out in '94. What are you doing here?
Stanley's actual cameo.
Okay, let's talk about that for a moment. So you're telling me that in the Marvel Cinematic Universe, Stan Lee is reading a script for Mallrats where he's going to portray Stan Lee, who is known in Mallrats as Stan Lee, the guy who made the Marvel Comics. We are in deep right now.
Once again, Stan Lee is like Gozer. He's whoever it wants to be.
So that means in this movie that there are Marvel Comics that Stan Lee has created and he is famous for. Okay.
Quite possibly.
And Kevin Smith is obviously in the MCU now.
Yes.
That's pretty incredible.
Yeah. Yeah.
I mean, as it should be, really.
Kev's going to be crying at that.
And he
did a YouTube reaction video telling the story. Like, he had to be told beforehand.
Really?
Well, because, like, there's rights and stuff.
Okay. He doesn't own Mallrats, though, so they probably could have did it without
He doesn't,
him.
like, own Mallrats, but, like, he still...
Someone still gave him the heads up?
Yeah.
Fair enough.
It was Kevin Feige. Kevin Feige called him and, like, explained what was happening. And,
wow.
Yeah. So, but that's awesome. Good for him.
That was a pretty cool moment, actually. I'm not going to lie.
Yeah. Because, like, of all the films of Kevin Smith to get a shout out, my favorite Kevin Smith film.
I was going to say, like, I love Mallrats.
Yes.
So that was
Redemption.
Yeah, that was pretty great.
Yeah. I'm trying to think what else. Action scenes were great.
They're good.
Soundtrack. What'd you think of the soundtrack?
It's okay.
It was a very mixed bag.
It's good.
Of 90s.
It depends how you feel about.
They didn't stick to one genre.
No. It was like there was En Vogue in there, and there was like Salt and Pepper.
Salt and Pepper.
Oh, all right, cool.
No Doubt, and
the No Doubt thing bothered me, but
why did the No Doubt thing bother?
2 reasons. One, again, chronologically, that song was not out in the year that movie takes place.
Okay,
fair enough. Number 2, I know what they were doing. I get it, but it's a little on the nose.
Sometimes,
just a little.
Sometimes, if it's on the nose, it's still right. And
I know.
Still fun.
I know what they were doing. I just, I didn't necessarily. It's fine. It's fine.
My favorite part was probably, and I'm not a huge Nirvana fan, but the "Come as You Are" during the interaction with the high intelligence. That was pretty good placement.
That took me out a little bit. Thematically, I get it. "Come as You Are," and she's having a realization moment. I get it, but it was kind of. Where they placed that and like the tonal shift it caused was a little jarring. Like, I forgot what came before it, but it didn't feel like we were going to go.
She was captured by the Star Force.
That's right. Yeah. And it goes from like this dramatic part to like Nirvana. And I was just like, that shift really was like jarring for me. I was like,
I think it's meant to be jarring. Like,
I guess, but not in a good way for me personally. Again, I get it. And it makes sense, but it felt weird. Like, it just didn't feel right necessarily. But I mean, I like hearing like Veruca Salt in there, and again, like all the other stuff, and largely female fronted bands and stuff.
Yeah,
except for Nirvana, of course. But
Garbage
is underappreciated. I could take or leave Hole at the end. I'm not a Hole fan at all. I don't like Courtney Love.
Are you not a Hole fan because of their music or just because of the person Courtney Love is?
Kind of both. One doesn't help the other. Let's put it that way.
Okay. I'm surprised the soundtrack isn't out yet. Like, I looked for it on iTunes. It's not available yet.
Well, I mean, Carl, it's not like you can't find these songs.
I know, but still.
You can compile your own. I do like that, she rocks a Nine Inch Nails shirt for a good third of the film. No Nine Inch Nails on the actual soundtrack.
That was surprising to me. I would have figured
it's okay.
Yeah.
I mean, it's fine. Here's why I think it's cool. I think it's cool because they will be the standout. So the fact that they are featured in the movie yet not on the soundtrack makes them mysteriously, conspicuously absent, which makes people more curious and more likely to search it out, which I like. And I think Trent probably likes that too.
Trent would have had to give his permission for them to use that.
Yes, and I don't know that they tried. Maybe they did, but maybe not. But I do know this much: a collaboration between Marvel and Nine Inch Nails. There's a T-shirt up on the Nine Inch Nails store that's the Captain Marvel logo with the NIN logo inside of it.
Cool.
So that's on the Nine Inch Nails store right now. So that's pretty cool.
Trent, what were some stuff like? What did you tell me about your reactions to the film. What did you like? What did you not like? I feel like I've been kind of monopolizing the conversation.
I liked Captain Marvel, the character. I liked, again, the stuff with Maria Rambeau and her daughter, Monica Rambeau, who, by the way, was the actual Captain Marvel after Marvel, before Carol ever got those powers. But they're kind of flipping the script here a little bit, which is okay. We'll see how it works out. Time travel's involved and whatnot, so it's fine. I hope they do something with that going forward in the movies. I liked... there were some cool action scenes. The shape-shifting scrolls were neat. I thought, like the Coulson reveal in the beginning, when it's like, oh, it's not actually Coulson, it's a scroll. Nick Fury kind of like, I like seeing Agent Fury sort of stumble into the bigger universe, and this is like the secret origin of the Marvel Universe in a way, of the MCU, which I liked.
It's a prequel to the entire MCU.
Basically, yeah. So you get to see the foundations of S.H.I.E.L.D. kind of being put in place, or at least the S.H.I.E.L.D. as we know it.
Yeah.
Obviously that was all done in like the TV shows and stuff, but I'm not concerned about that. So that was really neat. I dug the Flurkin. Because I was waiting for it the whole time, and I'm just like, here it comes, come on, do the thing. And then it did the thing, and it was cool. Again, it's a well-made flick. I like the Top Gun-esque feel of certain parts. Just anytime I see, aviator sunglasses and flight suits near planes, I'm like, oh, it's a target-rich environment, Goose.
Where's the volleyball scene?
I want Viper.
Viper.
Yeah, that was all really cool. It's a great Marvel movie. It's a Marvel movie.
Yeah, it's great.
And they very rarely screw these up, and if ever,
they have never screwed up a film.
Even the least enjoyable ones are still enjoyable.
There are weaker films, but again, yes, they're still enjoyable.
Thor 2, I'm looking at you. Iron Man 2, to a lesser degree, I'm looking at you.
See, I still don't get why Iron Man 2 gets so much hate. It's not bad at all. I get Iron Man 3 not getting a lot of love, but
it's more enjoyable than 2.
I don't think so.
As a film, I think it's a better movie on its own than 2 is. I know. See you're just mad about the Mandarin, but once you look past that, it's actually a solid play.
Actually, it's not, and that film gets a lot better on multiple viewings.
Yeah.
After the initial shock and awe of the Mandarin wears off, it's not horrible.
Okay. But honestly, those are like the only 2 that I can think of that are like,
everything else
ho-hum. Everything else is pretty good.
Yeah.
So, look, we got to maybe talk about the post-credit scene.
Well, obviously, it's a Marvel film. We get 2 of them.
So let's flash back or forward, how we want to look at this, to Infinity War.
Yes.
The pager.
Yes.
So maybe that made everyone kind of wonder, well, where was she the whole time? And wasn't the invasion of New York a kind of a big deal and blah, blah, blah? And yeah, but at the time, Fury had the Avengers on the case.
Yeah.
He didn't necessarily need... It wasn't a hopeless situation, put it that way.
Like when, if I remember correctly, Infinity War, when everything starts going down, Fury's like, he has no idea what the Avengers are doing. He has no idea what's going on. So at that moment, he decides to activate the pager.
Yes, at that moment, the Avengers are kind of broken up, fractured, gone.
Yeah,
Cap is gone. Everything's messed up, and then he starts realizing everything's kind of in chaos and people are turning to ash. So maybe now's a good time to call in a favor, which he does. And he was also under explicit instructions. Emergencies only.
Yeah.
Carol's busy. She's finding a home for her Skrull friends. So
I liked
I guess that brings us to the post-credit scene.
Yes.
Mid-credits. The mid-credit scene, I'm sorry. The Avengers. This is basically our first look at Endgame.
Yeah, it's probably a scene right out of Endgame, just like they did with Civil War and things like that. Certain stingers have just been scenes pulled right from the next film.
So they're tinkering with the pager on a battery, and they have it plugged into a power source.
Yeah.
They're letting it run, not getting a response. And right when they think, things can't get any worse, they turn around, and there she is. Carol's back.
Yep.
And she wants to know, where is Fury?
Yeah.
Well, I have some bad news. Fury's he's gone.
Fury's flakes.
Oh.
No.
Oh.
And then the comedic post-credit scene is Goose coughing up the Tesseract.
That's quite the hairball.
Yes. Yeah. So, what was I going to say? Like, there was something.
The other thing I really liked, when she lets Monica Rambeau choose the color scheme for her costume.
Yeah, that was fun. They went through some deep cuts on that one.
Because one of the ones they did was the green and the white, which is Marvel's original costume from the comics. I was like, ooh, that's kind of cool looking.
We like that. What was, like, they did the Iron Man colors.
Iron Man, Carl? Or, air quoting, Captain Marvel colors?
Yeah.
Shazam!
Nice.
See what they did there?
What else? They did like the neon.
Sure.
There was another one that was like kind of that was referencing something. I can't remember.
I'd have to look it up, but those are the ones that stuck. The green and white really.
Yeah.
That got me going a little bit. Like, oh, they remembered. That's so cool. It's an underrated costume, I think. Dude, it was just cool. You get your Ronan the Accuser is back.
Yeah, we get some throwbacks to Guardians of the Galaxy with Ronan the Accuser, and the guy who goes, "Who?"
Yeah. Well, we get a little more background on Ronan. He's a bad guy.
Well,
Ronan's a bad guy.
He's fanatical.
He's a very bad man.
Yeah, bad guy.
And he's scared of Carol, as he should be.
Yeah,
because she kind of destroyed another ship right in front of him and then dared him to pull something.
She did it in a very Voltron anime way. Just like flying through the ship and then you see the explosions following afterwards. I'm like, that's pretty cool. So it begs the question, she's clearly up there on the power scale.
She is. But I don't think it's going to be a situation where she could just, wave her hand and Thanos is toast.
Yeah, well, no.
No, that won't be happening.
Yeah.
And clearly, as we find in the flick, they have some means to dampen her powers. The Kree do.
Yeah.
Granted, she gets around that by the end, but that's not to say that Thanos couldn't figure that out as well in a confrontation.
Yeah.
Especially if he has, any knowledge of it. Especially since her power set is based on an Infinity Stone. Thanos knows a thing or two about those, and can manipulate them to some degree since he had the gauntlet. So I would think it might even be a situation where he can completely depower her if he wants to.
Yeah, quite possibly.
So keep that in mind. She's in this confrontation with Thanos, she might not be overpowered. She might be underpowered. She might be completely negated for all we know. Very possible.
Cool. So, yeah, we liked the film. It was great. It probably doesn't crack my top 5 for a Marvel film.
Sure.
But again, I recognize that it has a greatness that sets it apart from most other Marvel films, say for Black Panther, because it has that social impact aspect to it.
It's rare in film, in these kind of movies, where you have basically a female, and I don't just mean Captain Marvel, but like again, Maria Rambeau and their friendship, and Annette Bening. You basically, all your leads are mainly females, and their actions dictate the plot and move things forward and stuff, and not anyone else's, not a male characters necessarily, and that is cool. And you might not even realize it when you're watching the movie, but then watch it again. That they are the players. Mm-hmm. And that's cool. And, it doesn't have to be a thing. It just happens to be, that's how the movie is. And that's great.
Yeah. And unfortunately, we live in a world where it has to be a thing. It's not considered the norm.
Yeah.
So, but, we're getting there.
We're past that.
We're working on it.
We're there now.
Making the world a better place.
That's right.
For everyone.
Exactly. The way it should be.
Male, female, regardless of skin color. Skin tone, not actual color, again. Just clarifying. the color of black licorice being black and that black being synonymous with evil.
I hear you. I know.
I just want to make sure.
Metal bands don't wear white. Put it that way.
Dang, Skippy. All right. I think that just about does it.
That's our Captain Marvel review. We had more, but it's
had more.
It's lost to...
It's going to sound like a quick episode for you all, but it's been like 2.5 hours for us.
It hasn't been that long. But
well, combine the two together.
Yeah, well, don't worry. We'll get back. We'll get it back.
We'll fix it.
We fix everything. Yeah.
Okay, folks, we thank you so much for joining us. We would love to hear your thoughts on Captain Marvel, or if you have any questions you would like to send to the show, you can do so at the following locations. You can follow us on Twitter at Devils Do Pod. You can go to our Facebook page, like our page at facebook.com/devilsdopod. You can email us at thedevilsdopod@gmail.com, or you can find all these resources available to you on our website, thedevilsdopodcast.com. Drew, that being said, anything further?
Those kids that Google Nine Inch Nails are going to be in for a surprise.
Remember internet cafes?
I'm excited for them, but of a certain age, you might be in for some language. Then again, it's 2019. I'm sure they've heard it all by now. Do kids even care about swear words anymore? I don't even know.
I don't know.
I'm a parent. I should know these things. I got nothing else.
All right, folks. Thanks again for joining us. I always strive to go higher, further, faster. Quotes a dream.